What does it mean for a business to be sustainable? From DE&I to climate change, the definition is rapidly evolving. GE's first Chief Sustainability Officer, Roger Martella, joins me today for a conversation at Modena. I'm Monica Trauzi. This is Off the Menu.
Monica.
Roger, hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Oh, it's so nice to see you too. Thanks for joining me for lunch.
I'm looking forward to it.
Should we
Thank
head
you. Absolutely.
Congratulations, because you were recently named GE's first Chief Sustainability Officer. What does sustainability mean to you?
When people think about sustainability, my guess is a lot of people think immediately about climate change or about the environment, and those are absolutely top of mind issues. I tend to take a bit of a broader view. I think of sustainability and making sure everyone has equal access to a good environment, healthcare, good opportunities, gender equality, that all around the world we're making sure that people have equity in the opportunities they have.
So is it your sense that we're moving away from this more performative approach to sustainability, which, I mean, we've seen for years, right?
Yeah.
It sounds good. It sounds like there's action happening, but it's not necessarily ending up in impact. Are we moving away from that and moving towards actually driving impact?
The way I think of how we want to run sustainability at GE is we want to run it with the same rigor that we run our businesses. We hold ourselves very accountable for our businesses. We're very transparent with the performance. We're judged positive and negative on how we're doing. And when we don't do so well in something, we explain why that is. That's exactly, I think, the type of accountability we look to run our sustainability program with, sharing, what our goals are, what our performance are, where we're beating expectations. We're going to want to talk about it. When we have more work to do, we're going to explain why that is and what we're going to do to address it. So we do see that accountability, and I think that's going to become, an important theme in the sustainability space.
What does a greater focus on sustainability, a carbon neutral by 2030 pledge, a net zero by 2050 as you look at scope 3 emissions, all of those things, what does that mean for the energy mix that you're using at GE? Is it moving exclusively towards carbon-free energy like wind and solar and nuclear?
So when we think about energy, which is one of the 3 sustainability challenges we're working very hard to solve, we come to this with the perspective that 1/3 of the world's energy is generated on GE equipment. So we have some very specific views on where we think we need to move to decarbonize the energy sector. We support the Paris Agreement. We support President Biden's ambitious goals for decarbonization in the energy sector. And our focus is on how do you find the right technologies at the right scale, not only in the US, but globally, because everywhere we work in 170 countries, the markets are very different.
When I think about ESG, I've kind of seen ESG take a similar trajectory to sustainability as a phrase, that it kind of is used a lot, but there's no clear definition to what it means. You've obviously outlined your definition for sustainability, and now we're seeing an effort behind kind of standardizing what ESG looks like,
Sure.
Standardizing these screens. Do you think we're at a place where we're going to move towards a more impactful way of looking at ESG standards?
I do. When I think of ESG, I think this is the impacts part of what we do on our environmental, social governance. How are we protecting our people? How are we protecting our communities? How are we protecting the planet? First of all, there's going to be more disclosure. There's going to be more, I think, uniformity, whether that's coming from regulators, from our investors, from our customers. We all recognize that the focus on transparency, the focus on standardizing metrics and key performance indicators is growing. I think the next phase of that is, what do you do with that information? Where do you go with it? It's one thing to share what your impacts are. It's another thing to show how you're going to improve them.
Cheers. These are mocktails because it's the middle of the day.
Absolutely.
But congratulations to you, and it's so good to see you.
Great to see you too.
15 years of friendship.
Not a coincidence. You picked in a nice Italian setting, I'm sure.
Well, we're both Italian,
Yes.
so thank you.
Thanks,
nice
Monica.
to see you.
You too.